Okay, here's going to be a very quick and dirty video as I do this one-handed of how we can sometimes bypass certain deadbolts by using a pick and just a simple tap down, so we have zero damage and we can actually relock the door when we leave again. Now, it doesn't happen and it doesn't work on all of them, but it's a thing that's definitely worth trying. On your cheaper deadbolts, the inside seam isn't full, so it allows it to fall down. On your more expensive ones, you will have a full seam like this in behind that sits in solid and allows for no slide down, so it stays tight. Because what we're going to want to be doing is tapping it down to allow us access to the top of the mechanism, which you can see in there has that cam that rotates up and over. So we want to get in with our pick and access that cam. So we use our picks like so. We have a little bit of protection to protect the deadbolt itself. And we take that protection and place it on top of the lock and just give it a tap down. Seems to have one hand. I'm just going to do it. And we get that space. And that space then allows us to get the pick into the hole and on top of that cam we showed you previously. So we can get that angle. So I can get in on that cam and bring it up. And once that cam's up, bring it over. We can go in, do our thing, loiter our latch. When we come back out, we can just do the whole thing in reverse. Getting in on that cam with our pick and pulling it out. Okay. So I'm trying to show you that where that pick gets on there. So it's right over in there. So we just can grab the edge of that with our pick. It's a bit of fiddling around as you saw from the beginning. But once that cam starts to come up, see if we can get that to focus in. We get that cam up. It glares right where I don't want it to be. Cam up. See, and then we can bring it over. We can actually relock the door. And then with our protection, we can bash it back up and put it all good. Now, like I said, a lot, and if you're already worried about, oh my goodness, you're teaching the burglars, if you take anything from this, make sure you buy a good deadbolt that has this full lip on the inside that sits in to allow little to no movement once it's all tightened up inside. The reason I've got this one on here, one, is to show you that on this prop, but two, also it's important if we start to do a force and we're starting to get more expensive locks that usually have that inside lip, it also means they start to have thicker bolts down on the inside here. So rather than those snapping, they'll start to bend. And then even with our protection in place, as we pry out with our Rex tool on this lock, we can still do a lot of damage. So if we even get it to this point, again, once we've pried it out with enough distance, we can get our pick in, we can get on top of that cam, and we can bring that cam right there. So video cut out on me there, so I'll add this to the bottom. But as I said, once we pried out on that with a bit of protection, we can get onto that cam there with our pick and bring that up and across, allowing it in. And although with that initial pulling we've now damaged this lock, we're going to minimize the damage to the door, which ultimately is the goal. First we try zero damage, then we do lock damage, then lock and door damage, then lock, door, and jam damage. Okay, which is when we start getting to our irons work. This is how we can have that progression, and this is where these picks can become very handy in your respectful entry kits.